back on the show, all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Joined on the phone by Dr. Lynn Chehab from North Shore University Health System. Dr. Chehab is pioneering and leading an effort called Rethink Your Drink, and I'm just fascinated by this because I think it's so important. Doctor, if you don't mind, sort of walk us through the initiative, the story of the initiative, and why you're so passionate about it.
Sure. So I'm a pediatrician, and I specialize in childhood obesity. And for the past, I would say, several decades, we've been told that obesity's been caused by an energy imbalance, that we eat too much and we exercise too little, and that's why people gain weight. But the science over the past 10 years really tells a different story. And it's not as much about how much we eat. It's about what we eat, and the more and more we learn about it, we learn that eating too much sugar just does a number on your metabolism and is a main culprit in why people have gained so much weight in this country in the past few decades, and it's also associated with all the diseases that go along with weight gain.
So you've launched this initiative dedicated to getting people to rethink your drink, and I know as somebody who was we say it here in Chicago, a pop drinker, that it really is important to rethink your drink. And I agree with every word you just said. That it's not how much you eat, it's what you eat, and that's really important. So, Dr. Chehab, do you think it's a good suggestion for our listeners to, regardless of what they're drinking right now, whether it's Gatorade or pop, to put that down and just pick up a glass of water?
Yes, absolutely. We know that for Americans, all Americans, the biggest source of excess sugar comes from what they drink. And for teenagers, it's the largest food group. It's the largest source of calories of any food group.
So let's
more
talk
than
about
pizza.
the specific examples. Let's talk water. I think I'm not a doctor, but I think it's fair to say that it has 0 calories. So it's obviously it's the number one choice. But let's talk about some of these other categories. Again, I was a pop drinker. Tell us a can of Coke. How that water would compare against that can of Coke, that bottle of Gatorade, or perhaps some of the other drinks that people have.
So again, the shift is we're not thinking of it as much in terms of calories, how much sugar. So just to give you a reference, the American Heart Association recommends that adult women have a limit of 6 teaspoons of added sugars a day, and adult men have 9 teaspoons of added sugars a day. Some of those Gatorades have 8 to 10 teaspoons of added sugar in a single serving, depending on that size of a serving. So it's more sugar than you're supposed to have for the day in a single serving.
Wow.
If you think of the 20-ounce bottle of soda, some of those 20-ounce bottles of soda have 19 teaspoons of sugar in one soda serving.
That's scary.
And the same with some of those sweetened teas. And what the sweetened teas are very seductive. They're advertised as healthy, and they're full of antioxidants, and they're not soda or pop, right? But some of those sweetened teas have the same amount of sugar as a Mountain Dew. So some of those, I'm not going to name a brand, but some of the single cans that are sold for 99 cents in the convenience store have 19 teaspoons of sugar.
The other benefit to drinking water is, of course, it keeps you more full. It keeps you more full throughout the day.
Exactly, and that's a really good point. We get our signals of hunger and thirst mixed up. So sometimes when we're thirsty, we think we're hungry. So keeping yourself hydrated keeps you full. There's no sugar in water. We are meant to drink water, and that's the best. If you were going to pick one behavior that would impact your health, like one single behavior that would have the greatest impact on your health, would be to get rid of the sugared drinks and just drink water, because just by doing that, you're significantly decreasing excess sugar. And if you think of it, if people still think in terms of calorie, and what we would call empty, non-nutritious calories as well.
Which brings me to why we have Dr. Lynn Chehab from North Shore University Health Systems leading, as I said, leading that Rethink Your Drink initiative here on Get Down to Business, a show that, after all, is all about business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Business owners, create a culture in your company where you're not giving where you don't have pop everywhere, where you don't have those Gatorades. That's not helpful. You're not energizing the organization. In fact, you're probably bringing people down. You're only contributing to a bad lifestyle. And Dr. Chehab, I cannot thank you enough for the work that you're doing. I know you've partnered with the Village of Skokie, and there's been some major marketing going on, and I hope that our listeners will, in a moment, learn more about how they can hang up those signs and those comparison charts about the amounts of sugar in the various drinks that some of your employees might be having on the average day. But Dr. Chehab, I know we're quickly running out of time. How can people learn more about North Shore's initiative and possibly find some of the materials that they can use in their place of work, or certainly even in their homes, so their kids see this message all the time?
So there are two great websites. If you just go on to the cityofelvanston.org and put in Rethink Your Drink, they have all those resources that you were just talking about, the comparison charts, postcards that just tell you how much sugar is in certain drinks, and so they have a lot of materials on the City of Evanston website. And then there's a great organization, Prevent Obesity Illinois, and it's preventobesityil.org, and they also have a lot of resources and posters and fact sheets about how much sugar and the dangerous amounts that lurk in our favorite beverages.
Well, Dr. Chehab, we appreciate this. I would love to have you back on, continue the conversation. Thank you for educating, and again, I encourage our listeners, Rethink Your Drink, check out those resources online and learn more about the issue. Coming up after the break, more tips, advice, and information.